Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
We have to take responsibility for our
Thank
actions.
you, Lord. And we welcome everybody here. We are having a heated discussion about
Very heated discussion.
But let me just say this, and I'm going to give my spiel, and you can give your spiel, Ed, because we welcome our viewers and those people. And let me just say this. There is no animosity. There is no begrudging. Before I say this, and I'm just letting people know this is just my own opinion. And I remember back in the 80s when we're talking about immigration, when Reagan had allowed 3 million, I would say, Latinos to come over, and they just forgave them and made them citizens. Now, and at that time in the 80s, there were less than 15 in this country. Now, right now, there are over 70 million Latinos, different nationalities, but they are here in this country. Now, here I'm in Florida. There are 850,000 undocumented immigrants right now in this country, and they are not all Mexicans and Latinos, which both are, one of the same, because we're talking people from Guatemala, all over, different Spanish-speaking countries. And I want to say this: if I was living in squalor conditions and I knew that I can go to a better place, I would do the same thing. However, Black people have went through slavery, Jim Crow, and mass discrimination. We had to fight for everything we have to do. And a lot of people that are currently minorities have benefited from the fruits of all of our labor of fighting and marching and what have you. Now, they are a viable minority now, and they're a strong minority. You have the Cubans who have basically taken over South Florida. You have the Mexicans and other nationalities that have taken over basically California, Arizona. They are all over there. And then you have the Black folks that are in their neighborhoods. Now, when I lived in California, there were very few Latinos back in the 70s. But then in the middle 80s and the late 80s, it was a plethora of Latinos that had came over to find work and moved to other parts of the country. And because of their conditions, and like I said, I'm gonna say this again: if I was in their shape, if I was in their position, I would do the same thing. However, when you look at, because of our brown skin, black skin, however you want to characterize it, we have been polarized, and my partner here says that it's our fault. Sometimes you have to realize that when you have people that are against you and they are plotting against you on a consistent basis, stopping your progress, which we were progressing in the 80s tremendously, getting educated, getting being professionals, so many. Just like when when the drug trade in Los Angeles, they deliberately, the CIA put drugs into the black community. Now, when you have people that are poor, you know, I mean, there are different types of or classes of black people. There are educated black people, there are professional black people, there are all kinds of black people that are in different situations. So you're talking about, you know, income, middle class, upper class, multimillionaires. And when you have poor black people that are living in really bad conditions, and I've been through those neighborhoods in LA and Chicago and other cities, you're going to try to make it the best way you can, whether it's good or bad. And some people choose bad. And when they make drugs illegal, they put you in jail when you get caught with drugs.
And
Look what's going on right now.
whose fault is that, Ted, if you get locked up in jail?
On.
Did they have the
look,
drugs on them? Did they have the drugs? Did they have the drugs?
Well, let me put it like
this. Did they have the drugs?
Let me tell you this.
Did they put the drugs in their body?
Let me just tell you this. There are millions of white folks, man. Let me tell you, I went to West LA, different places where there were white people. You walk in the apartments or the house, nothing but drugs in their house.
So what?
They were.
Why are you concerned about them? It's so what if they do that? We're talking about our community and stuff and what's going on. We know what's going on in our community. I'll let you talk now. Look at me. I'm gonna give me a chance here to say what I have to say here. Because I totally disagree with Mr. Harvey as far as we turn around there blaming the white man all the time. I'm gonna blame the white man. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just said that. You said they put this in our community. And they did this and they did that. Let's get this.
I did not say white man not one time.
Yeah, you said they, and that meant the white man. And you brought the white folks' name in there. You go into the white folks, you go into their community, and they got drugs all over the place, and ain't nothing happening to them. And I'm saying, so what? Yes, you have. You've been insinuating. You've been insinuating it's the white man. Okay. I gave you 5 minutes to get your little banter in. So I need my 5 minutes of banter.
Don't say things
give me my 5 minutes of banter.
Okay,
now,
but don't say something that I didn't say.
Yeah, well, you did. You talked about the white man. You insinuated. Anyway, let me get down to the bad facts here.
I just gave you the facts.
Before our people, before they came over and established the 13 colonies and stuff in this country, everything west of the Mississippi belonged to Mexico. There were Mexicans all over in there. In 1812, France came in, conquered all the land. 1812, they had the Louisiana Purchase. America bought that property over there, which already had Hispanics and stuff in there, and took it over. Yep. Then they manifest destiny and stuff and started moving west and started killing Indians, start running their to Texas and stuff, and all over in that area over in there, random Mexicans and stuff out of their country. All of California, all the way up that coast and everything belonged to the Mexicans. They owned that. And they ran them out. They took all the daggone country. So if anybody, hold it, Ted. I gave you time to say. I gave you time. Please give me my time. I gave you my time. I gave you your time. Your 5 minutes. I need my 5 minutes. Now you just bust into my 5 minutes again. And all that stuff that they took away from these people, that belonged to them beforehand. It belonged to them. But it's okay. They said they went back down into cross that border down to Mexico and down into Central America and went back down there and stayed and did what they had to do. But most of it, it's bad and stuff down there where they are. So they coming right back up there where everything is running good and stuff. Things have been set up for them and everything where they can come in there and make some money and bring a better living for their families. And I say to you, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't believe anything wrong with that. This nation was made of immigrants. And people from Ireland and stuff came over here in a potato famine, and they got their own little areas and stuff around here where they deal with everything. And that's their thing. They came over here.
Jewish people.
We got a big statue sitting over there in the harbor of New York. It said the land of the free. They bring them all over. Welcome to our country. Bring them into Staten Island. They brought me in, bring them right to this country. This country was built on that. There's nothing wrong with that. But we, as Black folks and stuff, as Mr. Harvey so eloquently said, in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and stuff, we fought to get ourselves together. But I think, hold it, Mr. Harvey, I ain't had my 5 minutes. Thank you. Can I have my 5 minutes? Okay. So during the 80s and stuff, we made progress, a lot of progress. We can't forget that now. We can't forget that there's a lot of progress going on here because we can't keep on saying we ain't got this, we ain't got that, we ain't doing this, we ain't doing that. There's a segment of our population, just like it's a segment of the Hispanic population that just as bad as in better shape as where we are. But we can't dwell on that and stuff right now because we have to get them together. And to get ourselves together, we have to take responsibility for what's going on and stuff there. Because if we allow this to happen to us, we allowed this to happen. We allowed it to happen because we did not take advantage of the opportunity that was given to us. So Congress says, okay, we're going to stop giving you guys food stamps because you got these welfare queens and you got all the other stuff going on. Hey, everybody in our welfare queens, Ted, and we know that. Now, we have an opportunity to say, stand up on our own 2 feet and take some responsibility for what's going on and stuff in our community. We have to, because we can't keep on depending on the government to come in to take care of us. We're not going to do it. So take responsibility for your stuff. Go in your community and find solutions to get yourself out of where you're at. And you have to want to do this. You have to want to do it. So there's been progress and stuff, Ted. You know, if you look around, a lot of us, man, are living in beautiful communities and stuff. Your son lived down here in Atlanta. Beautiful community. He moved down to Florida. He lives in a nice community. He works every day, has a good job, taking care of his family. We forget about those folks and stuff out there. You look at our opportunities and stuff standing in front of us now. 2018 is heading here. We got a Black woman here in Georgia running for governor. We done moved up, Ted. So what? She ain't concerned about it. Doesn't bother her. Doesn't bother Andrew. Doesn't bother Ben. They don't bother. They don't care about what the system. They fighting it, but they ain't gonna let it stop them. If they did, if they worried about them and what they did about voter suppression and all that stuff, they wouldn't be where they at now. Fight through it. Stand up. Fight through it. That's what they're doing. And if they don't win, it ain't because they did not try their damnedest to do what had to be done. And that's what we have to do. Because like I said before in that last meeting and stuff that we had on the 20th, when we had our last thing, all of them are sitting down there and they feeding at their trough. Just like the little pigs and stuff. They got the food in the trough and everybody's sitting down and they don't want no strange pig coming around and eating at their trough because that's their money. So to get yourself at their trough to eat what they eat, you got to fight to do it. You got to fight. You got to stand up and fight. And if they put up a wall against you, you're going to knock their wall down some kind of way. She is turning around and knocking that wall down by going into their community where the conservatives is at and getting votes from them. That's her thing. She figured out a way how to do it. So what if they got voter suppression going on? So what if they got it? We're going to fight the voter suppression, but we still going to go out there and get our votes, and we're going to beat this man at his game. When she beat him at his game, or if she doesn't beat him at his game, she done put up a hell of a fight, because there ain't no way, Ted, 10 years ago that I thought in my state where I'm living at in Georgia that I'm going to have a black governor and a woman. Oh no, it was unheard of. You couldn't have told anybody 10 years ago it was going to happen. You couldn't have told anybody 10 years ago and stuff that you're going to have a black man running for governor down in Florida. But it's going on. So we're progressing, Ted. We can't sit down there now. We got to build, and we got to start. Everybody who's on top got to bring the ones from the bottom, because that's our responsibility. Stand up and bring them people from the bottom on up with us, just like those Hispanics are doing who are over here. Yes, them people are beating them down. Yes, they going over there working at them little $5 an hour job, and they're trying to make it. They're trying to scuff when they're going into their neighborhoods and stuff. And about, if you go into any one of their places over there are about 20 of them living in in a 2-bedroom apartment. They're struggling, but they constantly trying to bring each other up behind it, because they will not sit back and let somebody determine what happens with their life. And we can't do it either. Take responsibility for your actions. That's what I'm trying to say. Now you can talk all you want. I'm done.
Now, I'm not agreeing with nothing you're saying. All I'm saying is that when you have a system that is really, I mean, lack of a better word, raping you from your money, when you done spent almost $15 trillion in the military, you done spent over $1 trillion on the border protection. Those funds should have been going to a lot of the American people in beautifying our neighborhoods in so many ways.
But
Meaning,
it hasn't. It hasn't.
wait
So
a minute,
why are you crying over spilled milk? It
ain't nobody
ain't.
crying. Ain't nobody
You
crying.
you
Ain't
crying
nobody,
over spilled milk.
ain't nobody crying.
Wipe them
Ain't nobody
tears
crying.
away.
Ain't nobody
Wipe
crying.
them tears
Now,
away
wait,
and quit crying.
I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. But I'm telling you, this is not crying. What I'm trying to
Yes,
tell
it
you,
is.
no, it's not. Because when your what's your state's attorney, Kemp, what's his name? Kemp.
Yeah.
Do you realize how many millions of dollars this man had borrowed from 12 dozen banks?
So
Millions of dollars from these small banks all over Georgia.
what's wrong with that?
Well, I'm asking you a question. Do you know any other business black man that can go out there and borrow money and then and take that money and turn it over
That's
and buy
not my
different pieces of property?
that's not our problem.
No, it's not a problem. The
I'm
point
not
is,
gonna let whatever that man done,
just
let him do it. If he got away with it, let him do it.
let me say it's not illegal. Let me just say this though.
Fine.
A lot of that money comes from the government.
So
Those funds are come from the government. Those banks are being flooded in, and they get money from the government. Those banks, and they loan the money on zero interest rate, and then they give it to these people who are loaning money to help them be progressive. So here we are, business people trying to run businesses, start businesses, and can't get capital because the system has put it up that way. Because here's a beautician or a barber person or a person who wants to have a tavern, a person who wants to have a um, a filling station, a person that want to have a small company to fix automobiles, mechanic. and they want to go in. They go into the bank and they try to borrow $100,000. I'm sorry, sir, we can't give you any money. We can't loan you any money. It's the system, Ed. It's the system. It's unfair. You know, the one thing that Gilliam said, you know what Gilliam said? He said, all I ask is a chance. Just give me a chance. And that's what most people want.
He
And
got a
especially
chance.
a lot of black people.
He's getting his chance. And we need to stop worrying about what they done. We can't worry about what's been spilled.
No,
Ted. We can't worry about
doing.
you can't worry about them spending money
What are they doing?
for it's over with. If you sit there and worry about what did happen in the past and ain't dealing with the future, then you're not going to have a future. You're not going to have a future. You're not going to have a future. Quit worrying about what happened. I ain't worried.
I'm talking about what they're doing.
Is Stacy worried about
Stacy,
this
yes, she
man?
is. Because you know what
She's
she's
not
doing?
worried about that. She is not worried about that. She's telling her people. I get emails from her every day. She's not worried about what Brian Kemp is doing. She's not worried about what he is doing. The only thing that she is worried about and everything is going out there and getting them votes so she can get herself into office. That's all she's worried about. She's not worried about any of that. This doesn't bother her.
Wait a minute.
Can't sit there and worry about stuff that's already going on. Keep going forward.
You're repeating yourself. Let me just say this. That when you say that she's not worried,
no, she's not.
Why did she bring up the debate that the man fabricating 53,000 votes, potential voters, and 70% of them are black? Now you telling me that she ain't worried?
No, she's not.
Well, she should be.
She shouldn't be.
Because that's 70,000 votes that she
shouldn't be. She shouldn't be.
Oh, okay, fine.
She shouldn't be. She's not worried about him. She's just telling them. She's just telling them what happened and what's going on. These folks calling me up again, man. I'm getting phone calls every 10 minutes about this election crap. I voted already. I voted already. I'm too old to be out there running around on the streets. I ain't going out there. I'm a supporter, but she's not worried about that. What Stacy is doing, Ted, and she's not telling the whole story about what the heck is happening and stuff here. And Andrew is doing the same thing. When you find someone who is using every tactic in the book to hold you back and to beat you down, it makes you look bad in front of your voters who are sitting out there looking at you and supposed to be looking up to you as a man. And as a man and as a party, if this is how you conduct business to win, there's an unfair going on out there. It's not, things are not being made fair. You go back and you look back in our history and stuff and everything, and back in the late 50s and the 60s and stuff, Martin Luther King didn't use violence to get where we at or get to where he came from. He used nonviolence. He went down there and made those people look wrong for what they were doing. He brought the world in there behind him, and they came down there with sympathy. Then white folks came out there from up north, and Jewish folks and stuff, and people from all over the world came in to help him because what was going on was wrong. That's how he changed the system. She is following along those same paths. You make that man look ugly. You make him look like he's depressing you. You make him look like you're doing all, and she's going to bring a few of those conservative votes and stuff on her side because everybody is not liking what he's doing. All she's doing is showing what is going on here. She knows that she can't correct this thing by the time November the 6th comes here. All she wants to do is get them other white folks out there to feel guilty and say, man, you wrong. We're going to put this woman in office and stuff because what you're doing is wrong. Making him look like he's weak. He is not a man. He's a mouse. You look at Andrew Gillum. He had his thing down there. That man sitting on the side of him, hollering at him about his camp, taking money from going to a retreat or something there. And Andrew is sitting around there. He's ignoring this man because he already said what the heck happened. He finds out they got a little one of his campaign treasurers or whatever, and everything did something wrong. Andrew said, "Hey, the man did something wrong. He got to suffer for that. If he did something wrong, I'm not. He got to go. I'm sorry." The same thing should happen with the DeSantos and all those other Republicans who've been sitting around there. He made them feel guilty. He looked down there and took their own words and stuff against them. Say, hey, you got millions of people here in our state who needed that Medicaid money that the government was giving away. He said, let them give it to me. I'm going to take it. I'm taking that money. They couldn't say nothing against it. How are you going to give back $4 billion for putting a train to help the people in this state? That's crazy. He said, I'm going to take it. I don't care what they say. I'm going to take that money. And when they come down and we're going to put everybody out and we're going to change this Medicare stuff and everything, and we're going to get this Medicaid money.
The train money is gone.
It probably is. But if there's some more money that comes, he ain't going to turn it down. Ain't nobody going to turn down no ready-made money that's going to bring jobs to your state.
Know, here's the thing. I mean, they did turn it down. So
I know they did. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So the point is, I mean, when you think about it, what they're doing is they're trying to label a lot of these Democrats as socialists.
You can't label anybody Ted a socialist if they don't think that they're a socialist. Andrew know he's not a socialist, and he going, hey, look at me. Am I a socialist? Look at me. I'm black. I'm gonna be black, and I'm gonna die black, and I'm wrong with that. We got to keep on going. Throw that aside. Anything they got to say, he gonna look down. Yep, you this, the other. You can't make the man look like a socialist when what he's saying is true.
What I'm saying is this. The power. See, you're not here in Florida listening to all of this stupid advertising.
I know what they're saying, Ted. I have an idea. I'm not down here, but I know what they're saying. These people gonna say anything they want to say to make Andrew look bad.
I'm saying is, but here's the thing, though. People, the mind, the subconscious, the conscious mind is very powerful. When people play on your mind and that subconscious, and you've been in that booth and, oh man, yeah, he's a socialist, man. I don't think I'll vote for him.
That's crap. That's a bunch of crap.
So people don't read. A lot of people don't read. They don't do their research.
And that's why we're sitting out here doing what we're doing, Ted, to talk to people about what's going on. This is what's going on in your community. It doesn't matter if they do or not. We have to make an effort to do something to change their mind. And Andrew ain't going to stop doing what he's doing because there might be a few people who look at him because he know they're going to wear all them people in Florida and stuff don't like him.
Well, I commit. We know that.
If he can get 50.2% of the votes, he done won. You look at girlfriend here in Georgia, she can get 50.1% of the votes, she done won. Now those other 49% who didn't vote for her, that's their problem. But I know what's going to happen. She's going to go about the business and stuff of bringing those 49% who vote against her underneath their tent. Now, you go back and you look at President Obama in 2008 and 9, he got through the Affordable Health Care Act. They beat the crap out of him about that affordable health care, Obamacare. Today, the main topic and stuff that anybody is talking about when it comes to the election is health care. Take my health care away. I got a pre-existing condition. These people are sitting down here right now, standing up in these offices. He was smart politicians know what the heck they're doing. I'm looking at Claire McCaskill and stuff sitting down in Missouri and everything. She's standing up and walking into these daggone places up here and say, "Who stand up?" Everybody up in here who got a pre-existing condition. 95% of the people in there stood up.
Yeah.
This man who's run against me is the Attorney General of Missouri. He is one of the 22 Attorney Generals from these Republican states who filed a lawsuit so your insurance company couldn't cover you because of your pre-existing condition.
Yeah. But Ed, let me
Speaks
just say
very
this.
loudly. Speaks very loudly, folks, and stuff who bring it up.
Let me say this. It's more than just pre-existing because President Obama had more detail.
That was just a point and stuff in there, Ted. That was just one point. The point that I was trying to make and stuff is that he started out and they beat him to death over that Affordable Care Act. In 2010, they changed the whole landscape, and the Republicans thought they can continue to beat him up. Now, what he stood for and stuff everybody was against, people are for now. All you have to do is stand up for what you know is right. You stand up for what you know is right.
I agree. I mean, I get your point, but let's just get real though. The point is that even if they drop or somehow get rid of Affordable Care Act and they keep the pre-existence and they keep it up to 26 years old for you can cover your child. The point is that your premiums are going to go sky high.
The premiums aren't going to go sky high, Ted. They're going high because you got these private companies and stuff who Republicans have allowed through nitpicking this daggone healthcare program where they're going to send them premiums up. They're going to go high anyway. If you don't have young people putting their money and stuff into the daggone pool and everything to take care of the people who are sick, you're going to have high premiums. So you have to do something to take care of those high premiums, and you take care of those high premiums by bringing the young folks and stuff into the system and stuff and everything, because they're not going to take all the money, and go back and do what they started out to say when they had the Affordable Care Act. You can only spend 20% of the money that comes in for administrative costs, for your fees and all the other stuff, which is a huge pot of money. And the other 80% has to go to take care of your patients, your people who are policyholders and stuff in your plan. They changed that. They took that away and stuff. Now these people are coming back in there and they raping their funds and stuff, and then they're raising this crap and stuff. We got to raise this stuff up because it happened. All they had to do go back and reenact that law. That's it. Premiums ain't going to go up. Now, when they enacted the Affordable Care Act, this was one of the reasons and stuff why the CBO scored it and said it was going to be very profitable to have it. But when you go in there and you take parts of it out because you wanted to destroy it, absolutely it's going to go up.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They are taking it.
So, but it's up to you to get yourself in office and go back in and change what's got to be done. You have to fight to make change. Yeah, and if whatever they did in the past, you can't do anything about that, but you can do something about what's going to happen to you in the future. You can do something about what's going to happen tomorrow, by what you do today.
Why it's so important that the Democrats take the House and the Senate.
We understand it's very important, but if they don't take back the Senate, what are you going to do?
Well, the only thing they can do is just keep fighting. That's all they can do.
Yes, they do. They got a stick. They got a big stick. You just got to find out where that stick is at, and pull it out of that pile and start whooping them with it.
Well, they'll control the fund.
Make some plans and stuff and everything, because they got to come through the House to get anything done. on any legislation when it comes to spending comes through what legislative branch of the government?
Yeah, we already know that.
Comes
We
through the
come to
House. Comes
yeah,
through the House.
right.
Comes through the
Yeah.
House. And then the Senate
Yeah.
goes and takes it out. But it first comes through the House. If you got your hand in it first, then you can control what the heck happens when it goes into the secondary house or when it sets up there on that president's desk. So if you don't win the Senate, don't worry about it. You can't sit there and worry about something that you couldn't beat up and everything, get it. If you take the House and stuff and everything, then use that power to do what you need to get done. That's what you have to do. That's how you win and stuff out there. And along with that, you have to take care of those down ballot stuff that we've been talking about, Ted. You got to take care of your governor's seats and everything because, you know, Florida in 2020 going to be very, very, very important for whoever runs for president. Very important. They got goo gobs of votes and stuff down there. They got goo gobs of electoral college votes sitting there in Florida. If you got your man sitting there in Tallahassee up in the Capitol, I don't care if the legislative is all Republican. If you got the governors, if you got the governor's seat, you got something more than what you had before. Yeah. You got some power sitting down there that you can deal with and stuff right there, because even though the legislative branch and stuff is all Republicans, which they might change now, they got a chance to kind of bring the balance and stuff down there in Florida over there. They got a little thing down. I know Florida has a plan and stuff about putting their folks in there so they can change at least one of them houses and stuff over and make it Democrat. It may be a slim in there, but the more he can get, the better he's gonna be able to fight. But even if he don't get them, Andrew gonna fight. I'm telling you, that man is smart. He ain't no dummy. They didn't, like he said, my grandmama didn't raise no dummy. Oh man. But anyway, Ted, we have to make sure that, you know, all this other stuff that we going on with that, we need to stop complaining about it and then look at that future, man. Find solutions to what the heck we're going to do to be able to move ourselves forward. We moved up, Ted. I was like you before, but as I look back and I read and I look back and stuff, we done made some progress, man, since 1980. And since 1990, we progressed some. It's slow, we made some progress. But when you see what we're seeing and stuff now, you know, all these black folks and stuff running for the high offices, hey man, we done made some progress.
All that's sweet and, you know, wonderful.
It is, and you have to have some. You can't keep beating people up and everything and expect them to be successful.
But this is the point that I'm making. You have to be a realist too. And what's real is you have millions of people that are incarcerated or under the penal system. Millions. And you have millions of people that are under the government control. What I mean by that is getting food stamps, getting subsidized housing, all of that. And we are less than 50,000 in this country. There's only about maybe 15 million.
You said 50,000. I don't understand that.
50 million.
Okay.
Less than 50 million. Did I say 50,000? 50 million.
You said 50,000.
Less than 50 million. Less than 50 million black people, African Americans. And the bottom line is that, and I'm just a realist, we don't own nothing.
So if you don't own nothing, that's your fault. You don't own nothing. That's our fault.
The point, you know,
if we don't own nothing, that's our fault. Didn't you choose not to own anything?
Well, that's my privilege.
Okay, that's
my privilege.
Point. That's my point. That was your privilege to do that.
What I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Ted.
But wait
So
a
there's
minute.
nothing wrong with most of these folks not having property. They might
Wait
think
a
that
minute.
they can get wealth from some other place instead of owning
But,
property.
but this is what I'm saying. Yeah, you're missing the whole point. I am not
No,
talking
I'm
about real
not.
estate.
I'm not
Man,
missing.
I'm not talking about real estate. I'm
I'm not
not
missing.
talking about real estate. Do you know the stock market went down 600 points today?
So,
Profit taking.
so
Now, let me just
I
say
don't
this.
begrudge them to take their profits. If they put their money out there,
I'm
take
not
your
talking
profit.
about real estate. What I'm talking about is I'm talking about ownership as far as companies.
Same
We
thing.
live
Property,
in a
assets,
we live in a capitalist society. You have to make something. You
and
have to create something.
and
So what I'm saying is that as a black community, we have not succumbed to that as a whole. And that means to me there has to be, and I'm gonna use this word again. I used it last week because it should be done in politics and in business. Solidarity. We as a people have to come together as business people and not just try to make it on your own or just with your little family and try to somehow come together, come up with some solutions as far as building something. I'm talking about major corporations. Do you know? Uh, I'm trying to think of the guy's name, and I can see his face. His name is R.J. Reynolds, I think his name was. It'll come to me, but he was one of the first, uh, as far as had a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar corporation. Gave that man a heart attack. Gave that man a heart attack and died. And his wife took over the business. TLC, I think the name of the company was. And he tried to do it by himself and just his family. But the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that it's not that we have a lack of money, but we should be getting more money as far as capital. I mean, access to capital. But the bottom line is that if you bring in and start your corporation and start creating products, get creative. There are people now that are starting all kinds of startup businesses all over this country, all over the world, and they're getting billions of dollars. They come up with an idea, and people love that product and they buy it. And that's what we have to do as a people. And then that's how we get our, I would say,
but
kudos.
it's not like we are not doing that, Ted. A lot of our people out there, they are doing that. They are starting businesses up and everything. We have a lot of entrepreneurs out there who have started up businesses
Oh
and who
yeah,
are very
yeah,
successful, who
yeah,
have
yeah.
been very
They have
successful.
the same kind of corporations, though. Most of them are just opening up the same types of businesses. You
So
know,
then they're making money. They're still making money off of it, and they're raising
I'm
it,
not,
and they're
I'm
taking
not,
that
I'm
money,
not talking.
and they're
I'm not
using
talking.
that. We
I'm not,
understand
okay, let's look
that
at this. Look
that
at
we
this.
have
Let me just say this.
to build capital and everything. People understand that they
Let,
know that they need to have money
what,
to do
let
things
me
well.
just say this. Let me say this. Now,
Where
when
are
you
we
look,
going to get it from? Where are you
get
going to
what?
get it from? You get your
Get
money
what?
from. Get your money from to build
Well,
capital.
the, the
Where you
point
going to get it
is
from?
that you have to come together as a group of people.
Where you going to get the money from?
How are you gonna get the money?
Where you going to get
There
the
are
money
billions,
from?
there are multi-millions, billions of dollars available, man. Millions and billions of dollars available. You have to come up with a good idea. You have to be
Okay.
creative.
And you just said earlier that they people not give you the money. You can't get the money. We can't get the money. We can't
From
get the
the
money.
banks. I said from the banks.
Okay. Well then where you
I
gonna get
was
it from?
talking about your governor or your state's attorney or whatever he is down there that's running for governor. He got
Right.
millions of dollars from the banks. When
Absolutely.
these
He
small
did.
businesses can't
He
get money from the bank.
he did
But
that.
what I'm saying
Absolutely.
is they are multimillionaire entertainers, athletes, business people, people that are venture capitalists that are out there that are looking for people with ideas, looking for people that are creative. But you have to have a team, and you have to have a good team to come up with some ideas and strategize. And that's what you have to do. And basically, that's it. I mean, it's not this is not very hard. But the point is, you got so many creative people out there that come up with ideas, that come up with different ideas and what have you. The point is that don't try to do it by yourself. A lot of people try to do it by themselves or with one or two partners. You have to have a team of people, and those team of people will support you, and you come in together and you get you a big whiteboard and start coming up with different ideas and thinking about how you're going to come up with something that's going to be creative where you can build a company and hire 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people. I mean, think about it. I mean, that should be the ultimate goal because for people in this country is that who happen to be African American, come up with some companies where you can hire 30,000, 50,000, 20,000 people. These small corporations, these small businesses, I'm talking about just really mom and pop. That's what a lot of black people businesses, that's what they are. I mean, I can name you the top 5 businesses probably don't even have 100 people, 200 people working for them. We have to employ our own people, and that's what you do. So that's what I'm saying. You have to follow, and that's
I'm
what.
gonna, I'm gonna have if I have a business and I can't get nobody to work or to come to work on time or to give me 110% when they come to my job, I'm gonna fire them. I don't care who they are, black or white. I'm firing them,
What does
and
that got
that's
to
what
do with anything?
and that's what I'm seeing. I'm hearing out there, Ted. Most of the people that you're talking about that doing some things and stuff and out there working hard and they got good jobs. They have businesses and stuff that they're trying to get started up. They're doing that. Our people, a lot of our people out there are doing that. We have to, if we're going to start taking care or doing something about those disadvantaged folks and stuff and everything. You're talking about the ones who are sitting there in their they're in the prisons and stuff and everything. They're in a justice system and stuff that you talked about that is unfair. But we know it's unfair. We have to get those folks and stuff and everything and start teaching them what needs to be done because most of them have been in the system and stuff for so long that they become institutionalized. They sit there, commit a crime, folks lock them up, give them a bail. They can't pay the bail, they can't get out of jail. They stay up in the jailhouse and they learn how to walk around here with their pants hanging off their behind. They walk around, their shoes not tied up. I just talked to 2 young men and stuff the other day and everything. I'm sitting there talking to them, nice looking young man. I say, hey man, you sound like you're a nice looking young man. I said, what do you have on your mind? What do you want to do in life?
Mm.
And you ain't gonna believe, Ted, what the young man was telling me. Man, I had a job and the old head, I didn't like what he was saying, so I didn't want to go over there and work because he told me that I better do this. What? And that's the mentality and stuff, Ted, of what's coming out of our community and stuff through the jails and through all the other stuff that's going on and stuff there. That's the mentality that they have. You go in there, you look at these McDonald's and all the other little fast food restaurants and stuff in our community and stuff. You look up in there, man, the place is filthy. You want to eat out of a place, man, that's filthy. They don't care. Keep the place clean. They don't care. And they'll go in there and steal the food out of the place. Man, so and so and so and so, he get caught. So and so and so and so was stealing too.
But wait a minute, though, man. Come on, man. I'm not.
The point is and stuff, Ted, that we have to, if we're going to change what you're talking about doing, bringing those other unfortunate ones up to where most of us and stuff are at right now, we got a lot of work to do in our community.
Well, I mean, it's the system, bro.
It ain't the system. It ain't the system. It ain't the system. Ted, it's not the system, Ted. It's how we look at life, how our children look at life.
It's the system, man.
It's not the system. You can't keep blaming. You can't keep blaming the system, Ted.
Okay, it's the system.
Take responsibility for your actions. There's no way, Ted. I lived in a house, man. We had a pump in the house and everything. I didn't sit down on my behind and stuff and blame the man and stuff and everything because my mama and daddy couldn't hardly wait until the end of the week to feed me. I didn't do that. I didn't allow that to happen. I went out there and got my own job, just like you did, like a lot of our friends and stuff did in the community. We lived in rat-infested community. We lived with gangs all around us, people fighting us and doing all kind of stuff, winehead laying on the corner and stuff, dope heads and stuff all over the place. They didn't let that stop me. And we can't let these other kids and stuff be stopped and everything because of that. Quit blaming the man and stuff. I went down there. We went over there to the high school and stuff, man, and couldn't get and had to walk 12 miles after basketball practice over. I didn't blame the man for that. I ain't blaming him for that.
Why you got to go there?
I'm had to because you sitting down there talking about that's the man's. No, it ain't the man. It's our fault. We have to change the attitudes and stuff of our children who are coming up every day. And you can't sit there and tell me, well, I ain't gonna go there because I didn't like what the man told me I had to do. Man, it's a job, man. You if you don't care what he's paying, it's a job. It's an avenue to get yourself better. Take what he had to say because you have to eat.
Okay, all right. You didn't rant. Now let me just say.
We got to go, man. It's time to go. We spent an hour and stuff here, man.
No.
The hour's over.
Let me say this on a good foot. Listen, one thing you have to understand, man. Most of us, we were taught certain things. We were trained certain ways. And if we didn't behave, we had consequences. So, but what I'm saying is that what you were just talking about, those two young gentlemen, and I can understand what he was saying to a certain degree. And that means that his attitude is that, hey, I don't want to work for nobody. I want to work for myself.
No, he ain't said that either.
No, wait a minute. He might have not said that. But maybe
he doesn't have a plan, Ted. Ain't nobody gonna sit down there and give you, if you went out there and you done quit 2 or 3 jobs and stuff, and then you're gonna go over there and say, hey, whoever they may be, they could be a black bank in your community and stuff. You're gonna have to fill out an application and stuff to get you a loan to help you through your business. And part of the application and stuff is telling you what's got to be done. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at everything that's around you. And if you telling me you already got a bad record already, brother, I can't hire you.
It's deeper than that. Because see, you read a lot, I read a lot. And a lot of black males don't read. They don't read self-help books.
And whose fault is that?
They don't read history books.
It ain't whose fault is that?
It's not about a fault. What I'm saying is that the point is that you have to self-educate yourself. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of people don't have that mentality.
Okay, then. So we got, and I repeat what I first started out saying. We got a lot of work to do in our community.
So that's all I'm saying. You know, I mean,
and we go right back to what I said. We got a lot of work to do in our community.
And I agree, there is no excuse, but there are circumstances for everything.
And sometimes you gotta quit feeling sorry for somebody and keep on going because it's gonna hold you back. Anyway. Oh man, they said some of those migrants and stuff Ted you're talking about is about ready to cross the border in El Paso.
What? No, not that quick.
I just got a notification.
Not that quick.
I got a notification popped up. It said they got a caravan. You're trying to get through El Paso. Just popped up on my computer and stuff. Then I had them little notifications that pop up with news items and stuff. And it popped up on the computer. I said, "Oh man!" It just popped up. Not even gave Trump some more stuff to say and stuff about these illegals coming into the country. He's gonna bring the military down there and let them guard the border now. Or do what Mayor Daley did in 1968, and when they had those riots and stuff at the Democratic convention, and said the mayor turned around and said, "Shoot to kill." He didn't care whether they were black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. Mayor Daley said, "Shoot to kill."
Well, I'm hoping for the best for him, man, because I mean,
I'm laughing about it and stuff too, but it was
thousands of miles, man, to get out of their own country, man. It has to be horrible. It has to be bad.
Hey, sometimes people are desperate, Ted, and I have no problem with that. I'm telling you right now, just like I said before, I have no problem with that. If that's bad and they can't get any help, because like you said, it was, and their solution is to cut off the aid to the country. What? You're going to cut their aid off? What?
That's crazy.
They're already leaving. Why you want to cut the aid off? They hungry. The kids is hungry. They need milk, and you gonna cut the aid off? You gonna bring more across the border? You exacerbated the problem. That's their solution. So we have to change the thinking and stuff, Ted, of some of our people and stuff who are out there, and have somebody stand up and everything and say, "Man, that's crazy." But when he said it, a whole lot of people, Ted, said, "Yeah, that's right. Take their money away from them. Don't give them no money." What? Man, you take you create a problem. But that's the thinking and stuff, Ted, of your conservative and stuff who are out there. And
take their money, and in that way, then more of them gonna come over here, try to get over here.
Absolutely, and it just amazes me how they do that. And I've listened to one of my conservative friends tell me, "Ed, I don't know why they giving all them people in jail, letting them draw SSI checks. They shouldn't be doing that. They giving all that money away." I said, "Hold it." I said, "What's wrong with them getting them SSI checks in jail?" "Well, that ain't right. That ain't right." I said, "Ed," his name was Ed, so his name was mine. I said, "Ed, they have a whole economy behind those bars." I said, all the guards around there, they give them money so they can get favors. They buying all this, they buying all that, and all that money is coming right outside and coming right into your friends' pocket and everything, because they're the ones who are sitting around there getting rich off of them. They're the ones and stuff who own these jails and stuff and everything, and they sit up there on the New York Stock Exchange and stuff as a prison and making money. And you tell me it's wrong? Hey, more power to them. Let them have that money. I tell him, I don't know why they do this at the beginning of the year. They're giving out all this money to these people and stuff. I said, Ed, hold it. I said, them people that you go down and eat lunch with and have a drink with and everything, I said, probably half of them own them car dealerships and them furniture stores and stuff sitting out there in your community and stuff who depend on them folks coming over there, buying their cars, buying their furniture, and getting money from them.
And going to the grocery stores and buying.
I said, you're taking money away from your friend's pockets. He looked at me and said, Ed, you got a weird way of talking about the economics. I said, yeah, man. I said, hey, I don't know why your friends didn't tell you. They just want to get rich sitting down at the country club playing golf. The money going directly in their pocket. What is wrong with you? So we have a lot of money, Theodore, and like we keep saying, a lot of money comes through our hands. We got to just keep it there for longer than 10 seconds. If we can solve that, if we can keep that money in our hands for a day, just say one day longer, we're going to have a lot of money in our community.
$1 trillion economy.
Hey, just keep it for one day.
We don't keep nothing.
Stop it. It's only for like two or 3 minutes, but just keep it in there for at least 24 hours. Just 24 hours. If we can get to that goal, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna have a lot more money staying in our community.
Yeah, like if you can live off of one paycheck, if you get paid twice a month, live off of one paycheck.
There you go.
That'll be hard though.
Figure out a way to live off of one paycheck. There you go. And put that other money away. Squirrel it away somewhere. Hold on to it. Because eventually, just like you said, Ted, they can buy a share of Apple stock. One share. One share. After about 2 months, buy one share. 2 more months, buy another share. 3 more months, buy another share.
Hey, your boy
end of the year, how many shares they might have? They might have about 4 or 5 shares of Apple stock.
That's a lot of money.
There you go.
You just bought in $600 there, and then you're talking about you're gonna probably get some dividends off of that, and then it's gonna whatever.
Absolutely. You're starting out small. You got to crawl before you can walk. My mama always told me you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to crawl before you can walk.
Do you know that the stock market dropped 600 points? Do you know that Tesla went up almost $36? Everybody else was losing money. Tesla gained $36. That's a lot of money. When you talking about going up $36, that means billions of dollars was put into his business.
Let's look at it. If somebody was smart enough, Ted, to own 1,000 shares, they done gained what, $36,000?
A lot of money.
Hey,
in one day.
I can buy me something with this. My children, God, we got a Christmas going up, and we're gonna be able to buy stuff. So you're gonna take that $36,000, you're gonna put it right back in the economy. Somebody else gonna have a job. You're gonna pay some taxes on that money. You're gonna do everything, keeping that money flowing around. Ford, when he started his company back in the 1900s, he decided one day that he's gonna raise his employees' salary up.
You know why?
All his friends and stuff around. Why you doing that? Why you doing that? Say, I need somebody to buy my cars. Them customers. Can't you see it? Them customers. We done lost that, Ted. We've lost that.
Mm-hmm.
Lost that ingenuity they have out there because they look around there and these Republicans telling them, no, we're gonna keep low wages and stuff and carrying on because it's gonna create we can create jobs when they gotta pay these high wages and stuff and everything. It ain't gonna create no, they're gonna create more jobs.
Yep.
And the people can't see that. I was like, oh, doodle, bring back Henry. Henry, come out of the grave and tell your folks what's going on. All I got to say, Mr. Harvey, are you done?
I'm done. I'm done. I got a lot more to say, but I'm done.
Well, today's Wednesday. We have 13 more days before election. I'm telling all my people and stuff who listen to the video, get out there and vote.
Please vote.
Get out there and vote. I don't care where you at in this country. Get out and vote. Because if you don't vote, you can't complain.
That's right. You get the government you get the government you deserve, as they say.
Government you deserve. If you didn't go out there and vote, you get the government you deserve. And don't tell me that your vote don't count. It does. Hillary lost 2 states by what? 10,000 votes. 10,000
votes.
2 states by 10,000 votes. Wisconsin and Michigan. 10,000 votes she lost. Don't tell me that don't count. So anyway, vote, people. When we see you guys Saturday morning, I want to show me y'all's I voted sign. I'm gonna show you mine. So good evening. I hope you guys have a good evening, and I hope everything worked well and stuff. I know we are way up. We're about 15 minutes over our time, but I'm sorry. There's a lot to talk about here. And like Mr. Harvey said, we need to do this 7 days a week, but I can't. I need some help, Mr. Harvey, and I ain't getting it. I need some help, my brother. I need some help from you. You know, you've already been clear part of your table off and everything, but I ain't seen you put nothing back on our table yet. So I'm waiting. I need some help, my brother. I can't do it by myself. I'm telling you, it's the burden is getting heavy. I get emails and stuff all the time about this happening, that happening, this going on, that going on. Help, Ted. See you guys on Saturday morning. Bye-bye.
Hey baby, what you trying to do? Spent the night just trying to find you. You the hottest one under the sun, and I'm under your spell. We stuck just like glue. You ain't got the free crib, oh well. You and me can head to the hotel. Whatever we do, just don't tell. I don't need anybody all on my coattail. I feel your energy and I ain't trying to fight it. Your vibe is way too exciting. I know I'm who you wanna ride with. Don't fake it, I know that you like it.
It's more than just emotions. I get more emotions. All you gotta do is focus. Not what you used to, but you like it. But you like it. Ooh, yeah. I've been out here looking for you. Just something special, man.
Get up on my roller coaster. Get inside my